Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you are going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our dear brothers who is saying that he actually had to run away from the village where he was staying. So this is like the message that he sent to me, and I had to get it translated. So this is the narration of that translation. The message reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? My brother, I have come here on your platform so that I can confess the things that me and my friend did. So for me to be in this village where I am here in Guruve, what happened was that there was a lot of people that died in the family, and after people had died in the family, I was the one who was accused, and indeed I knew that those people, the reason as to why they had died, it was all because of me. So my relatives, they wanted to kill me, they wanted to have me killed, and then I had to run away with my wife. So I told my wife to come here in Guruve because that is where her relatives are staying. So when she came here, I told her that she was never to reveal the fact that me and her and the kids, we had been kicked out of the village where I was staying with my relatives. So she came here and she pretended as if she was just looking for a second home in this village. That is how we got our second home in this village, and no one knows about this confession that I am about to give you. Let me go back in the past when me and my friend were still in that village where I used to stay really close to my relatives. Me and my friend, we used to do this thing of buying and selling. So one day my friend told me that he had met this other man on WhatsApp. Let me call this man Uncle Alpha, who is from Mozambique. This man then said that he knew how to make my friend to become a very powerful prophet. This was after my friend and I had a discussion about this issue. We said, look, let us do an investigation. So we did our investigation. And when we did our investigation, we then found out that a lot of people that are starting their churches here in Zim, after they would have started their churches, then they will start to make a lot of money. So it's like a church, running a church is almost as running a business, a profitable business. So my friend said, look, my friend, this research that we have done, we have seen that starting a church requires no capital at all, and it's all profit. Each and every month, people will be giving money to you. Then you can use that money to do other investments. Me and my friend, we then agreed that we were supposed to become these white garment prophets so that we can start to make a lot of money and to take care of our own kids. After we had agreed, my friend then came back with that story that he told me that he had met this Uncle Alpha from Mozambique who said that he was a very good, powerful traditional healer. But I was really nervous because my friend told me that he was told that the rituals that were supposed to be performed, they needed at least 2 people. He was going to be the leader of that church, so an assistant was needed. And my friend asked me if I was willing to go with him to Mozambique. But I was really nervous, and I said, let me go and think about it. So when I told my friend that I wanted to go and so that I can think about it, later on, when I looked at my situation, I said, right now, I am poor, and what will happen, let's say that my friend goes there, then he is given these powers from Mozambique, and he will become a very powerful prophet. Then he will start to make a lot of money driving very expensive cars. If I will ever go back to him, he will tell me that I once gave you an option to be better in life, but you refused. So my brother, I said, let me join with him. Me and my friend, we then went on our way and we went to Mozambique. Once we had arrived in Mozambique, that man was giving us directions. He then told us that he was going to send his assistants. Then his assistants came and then they took us. These men, they never spoke a lot. They will just speak with us using sign language. They told us that we were going to be climbing up the mountain, a very forbidden mountain, and through this forbidden forest. the place where this traditional healer was staying. So it seemed it was in a very remote area. We kept on walking through the dense forest, which was really scary. The more that we walked, the more that me and my friend realized that there were people that were actually following us, because we could hear footsteps of people that were following us. But from what we heard, it seemed as if these invisible people that were following us, they seemed to be giants, because of the loud footsteps that were coming out, it seemed as if these people that were following us, they were giants because of the loud footsteps. My brother, we kept on walking. The more that we were walking, the more that we got tired. Me and my friend, we then complained, and we told this man that had came to pick us up that we were tired and we needed to rest. These men, they were scary, because on their faces, they had their faces painted red and black. You could not look at them twice. When we told those men that we were tired and we just wanted to rest, those scary guys then told us that this was a forbidden mountain and we were going through a forbidden forest. If you rest, then you die. And they told us that in this mountain, there were spiritual lions. So these spiritual lions, they could actually devour us, eat us alive. And we started to hear these spiritual lions as they were roaring. So we kept on pushing and walking until we had reached our final destination. When we arrived at this traditional healer's place, that was when we were told to enter into one of the consulting room. When we entered into that consulting room, my brother, that was when we saw this powerful traditional healer called Uncle Alpha. He just appeared out of nowhere, my brother. We then saw him as he was sitting on his throne, as he was holding this other calabash. And from inside that calabash, we saw that there was black smoke that was coming out, and he kept on sprinkling us with his herbs and charms. He then told us that we were supposed to go and to enter inside this other drum so that we can be strengthened. We got into that drum that was placed on top of a burning fire, and then it was really hot. I felt that even my testicles, they were being boiled. Even my friend told me the same. When we were pulled out of that drum that was on top of the burning fire, then the traditional healer told us that we had actually sacrificed our seed. As the water was boiling, it was actually burning our testicles, and we could never be able to impregnate a woman ever again. That was the first sacrifice. After that sacrifice was done, we were then shown this other big mirror. He told us that he uses this mirror as part of his oracle. When you are consulting with him, then you have to ask the mirror. The mirror will tell you what it wants. So we were made to sit down cross-legged. Then my friend was the first one. He was then told that in this mirror there was a vision of a person that was going to appear. So whoever was going to appear, then we were supposed to sacrifice. My brother, me and my friend, we looked at each other because we got really scared, because this was not part of the deal. This Uncle Alpha, when we were still in Zim, he had never revealed the fact that a sacrifice was going to be required. But now that we were at his shrine, he was now telling us that a sacrifice was needed so that we can become very powerful prophets. As for my friend, he was really nervous and he didn't want to go ahead with these rituals. We were then told that we had no choice at all. Whatever the spirits wanted, that is what we were supposed to do. He was then given this needle as he waited for a vision to appear inside that mirror. So the vision that appeared in that mirror was that of his own son. His son appeared in that mirror, and he really got scared, my brother, and he said, but this is not what we promised each other. You never revealed the fact that a sacrifice was going to be needed. So how can I sacrifice my own child? Look what have happened to me. Look at me now. I am no longer a man, because the sacrifice that you made me to do when I was inside that drum was to sacrifice my own seed. So who is going to enjoy my money if I have sacrificed my son? So this traditional healer then told my friend to step aside because he was not that strong. So I was then called and I was told that I was the one who was supposed to speak with the mirror. So I went to the mirror. I then saw that the child that appeared in the mirror is my sister's child. And it was a great relief because this child of my sister was someone who was mentally ill, and I said, oh God, you are great. At least now you can rest in peace, because it is not a nice thing to witness your own sister suffering, taking care of a child that is mentally ill. That was my first sacrifice. I took that needle and I then stabbed the mirror, and the child died. The next person who appeared in the vision in that mirror, I saw that it was my grandmother who appeared. So I then said, okay, that is fine. Let me sacrifice her as well. So I ended up sacrificing her without any problems at all. The third time around, this was the final sacrifice that I was supposed to perform. The third vision that appeared, it was the vision of my mother. So I then looked at my mother and I said, I cannot sacrifice my own mother. After I had refused to sacrifice my own mother, that was when that traditional healer told me that I had failed because I had refused to sacrifice my own mother. But Brother Nashi, this was not fair at all, because one, I had sacrificed my sister's child and I had sacrificed my grandmother. But he said, you need to sacrifice all of these people that would have appeared in the vision that would have been shown to you by this mirror. So we were then kicked out of that traditional healer's place and we started walking, my brother. And when we finally came from Mozambique, when we arrived back in the village, that was when we heard that there were a lot of people that were crying at my father's homestead, for my sister's child had passed away. My grandmother had also passed away. We arrived at my father's compound and we pretended as if we were in shock. But later on, people started to be very suspicious of me and my friend. That was when the village headman informed the chief, and the chief said that before these people are to be buried, there is a traditional healer who is supposed to come. So when this traditional healer came, he then made me to confess, and indeed I confessed. After I had confessed all the things that I went to do in Mozambique, my relatives, they wanted my blood. They wanted to have me killed. They said that I am an evil person. The village headman then said that he is going to remove my name from the book in which every resident of the village is written in this other book. So that is how I was kicked out of that village. And me and my wife and my kids, we started to suffer until I came up with a plan. I told my wife to come to Guruve so that she can speak with her relatives, but not to reveal the truth to them. That is how we ended up being here in Guruve. The problem that I am facing right now is that regularly I have a dream of my grandmother and my sister's child, those two that I sacrifice. Each and every time they will be fighting with me, because I am like a mechanic, and at the same time I also sell a lot of stuff. So when I see them in my dreams, they will be stopping those customers from coming to buy from my shop, because they keep on saying, why did you kill us? Why did you kill us? I am a mechanic, Brother Nashi, but no matter how hard I try to get some customers, I can't even make it in life, because there is this bad luck that keeps on following me. This is my own story, Brother Nashi. I am looking for any kind of assistance. If there is anyone who is able to chase away the spirits of the dead, please help me out. I went to do these rituals, but at the end of the day, I came back home empty-handed. I do not have any money at all. I am just struggling, Brother Nashi. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our brothers, and this was the narration of his story. Strange things do happen in this world. Yo.